Welcome back to what appears to be my fourth vlog. If it seems that I'm talking out of sync and inside a room, it's because my mic is not working again. I promise this is the last video where I do a full voiceover, and this video where I do another voiceover, I'm trying a different style of voiceover narration where I write down what is important on paper and then I record it. And then I take video clips of what's appropriate for whatever I'm talking about and put them together based on what I say instead of saying as I go watch these clips. So, anyways, by my next video, my mic issue will be gone. So in this video, I'm at the Classic Japanese Auto Show at the Angel Stadium in Anaheim. I went all the way to Anaheim from Riverside because I have an unfathomable love for automobiles, and I took 2 exams the previous day, so it's just something for me to come and decompress after the stress of studying and pulling an all-nighter for midterms. This car show features various JDM classics and legends. Most of the cars you see here are over 20 years old. Now, one of the first things you'll see after walking past the security is the display of older generation NSXs. Now, these older NSXs had special decals on them. I can recall that the red one had special decals on them, like they had the Suzuka International Circuit plastered on the side of it. And there are, I think, 2 more NSXs, one of them white and the other one I think is either gray or another white one. I don't remember exactly. I don't have a picture of it, unfortunately. The story behind the car, from what I heard, is that the original owner passed away and the wife of the owner gave the car to charity or a museum, and it was being put on display at the car show one last time. Nearby there's the Acura tent, and this is completely different from what I was telling you earlier about the older generation NSXs. So at the Acura tent, they have 3 of their sports cars. 2 of them are the newer NSX models, and one of them is the old second generation Type R. Now, the Integra Type R in stock configuration is basically an endangered species. The car inside and out looked very clean. And the standard NSX, colored in yellow, had its doors open to allow anyone to sit in it. And that is what I did. I took the opportunity to do it. I pushed the buttons, I pretended to drive the car like a little kid. It honestly felt pretty comfortable and roomy to sit in. Honestly, it felt much roomier and more spacious than my old dorm room at UCR, and I'm not being sarcastic, I'm genuinely serious. My dorm room at UCR, I lived in AI at the time of my freshman year, it was so cramped that I could feel my legs really hurting because I have no leg space at all sitting at the desk. And last but not least, the NSX Type S. Now, this car is meant to be the end of a supercar that did not receive its fair share of love and appreciation. Only 350 will be produced worldwide, 300 will be sold in the United States, and is colored in light blue. This thing's supposed to have over... Here's a little clip of my guy Joe, shout out to you, man. 600 horsepower with a combination of hybrid of gas and electric. 3 electric motors and a twin turbo V6. After that, I looked around to see some more cars, and it's the cars that people register and put them on display. I'll get more into that later. I looked halfway across the lot, and I noticed there was a rather large crowd over there in the tents around the tents in the corner. As I walk closer to the crowd, I see a group of Fair Lady Z's, and among the cars in the crowd, I see a guy squat down looking at one of the cars. Wait a minute. This guy looks familiar. That's Sung Kang. He played Han in the Fast and the Furious movie series. His character debuted in Tokyo Drift. I tried to get footage and photos of me and him. I even shook his hand. Once I got the picture with me and him, I sent a text to my friends with the pictures that I took with Han, and they went ballistic. I mean, they had a total freak out in our group chat. They were typing in all caps saying, I'm so jealous, I'm so jealous. Oh my god, can you get me his autograph? Is that who I think that is? Eventually I decided to break away, as there was a lot more to see at the show. And walking around, I saw a lot more fabulous Japanese legends, from CRXs to RX-7s, NSX, the Supra, and the Skyline. Came upon a clean, modded Supra Mark IV in dark metallic maroon color. The owner of the Supra was nearby, and we got to talking. Now, he had this particular Supra that he bought since 1995. He dumped over $35,000 modding it. I told him, man, that's an investment at that point. He said his Supra makes around 650 to 700 horsepower, but he doesn't track it, nor does he pull it on highways, as a lot of cops around California hate these sorts of cars. I asked him, are you going to sell it, or are you going to give it away to your kids? He said, no, I'm going to take this car to my grave and it will be buried with me. I responded with, that's understandable, and I totally respect that, man. His car is his baby, his pride of joy. He not only built this car, but he also built a relationship with it. And he told me he's going to take it to SEMA in Las Vegas after the Anaheim Classic Japanese Car Show ended. And there was another guy who has a green CRX, looked very clean on the outside and inside. And this guy was really dedicated to get his car to Anaheim, because he drove all the way from Vancouver, Canada, traveled I think about 1,000 miles from up north down here to Southern California for a classic Japanese car show. Honestly, just amazing dedication to that. So the next tent I visited is the top rank importers tent, where they feature 3 Skylines, and that's where I got to meet the Sean Morris, who's been featured on several YouTube videos and automotive related podcasts, speaking about his business and the history behind Top Rank. And it was nice seeing him in person. We got to talk about Skylines and how their prices are continuously spiking, and what they have on display is an R32, R33, and an R34 nearby the tent. The R32 is Sean Morris's personal car that he has out on display. And then there's the blue R34 nearby it, which is not legal yet, but the first Skyline GTRs, 1999, will become legal within 2024, so about a couple of years from now. And then there's R33 surrounded by rope. And the reason why this one's surrounded by rope on display is because it's a special edition of the R33 Skyline, the Skyline GTR Nismo 400R. And what made it so special is that there are less than 30 of these cars made, and it's RB26 DETT engine, which typically made about 276 horsepower under the gentleman's agreement back in Japan. 330, I believe, if without the restrictor on. This one, in the name, is supposed to make over 400 horsepower, and it's honestly pretty impressive, considering it's mid-1990s Japanese car, very powerful. And its engine bay was, its hood was open, so everybody can see the engine bay, and it just looked absolutely fabulous. I honestly think the R33 generation of the Skyline is pretty underrated. It's not as well loved as the R32 or the R34, because A lot of people complain that it is a boat compared to the previous generation and is not as technologically advanced as the R34 generation Skyline. If I can recall correctly, the R33 Skyline weighs a little bit heavier than the previous generation R32, which is where a lot of people get complaints about, and it uses the exact same engine from the R32 GTR. No changes, no modifications, no updates. And I think the R34 GTR is a little bit heavier. I think no more than 10 kilograms heavier than the R33 generation GTR, and still makes the same amount of horsepower. No updates to the engine at all. And the R35 GTR, which later came out in 2007, is significantly heavier than the R32, 33, and R34. And it boasts a 3.8 liter twin turbo V6, I believe. And it received updates throughout the years. The first models of the GTR R35 made about 472 horsepower. And then now it's bumped up to around 600 horsepower, which is pretty impressive. So that is all I have for this video. I want to keep it short. I don't want to make it over 10 to 13 minutes long. Anyways, comment down below what your favorite JDM car is. Do you like JDM cars? Do you like European cars? Do you like Formula 1 cars? Let me down in the comments below. And if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, usual YouTube bullcrap. And I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, be well. I'll see you in the next video. Here's a little clip of my guy Joe. Shout out to you, man.